Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Sunday, September 18th slate of NFL action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do have a pretty great slate as of today. I'm really excited. Some really good football on today. But before I did go ahead and dive into it, I did just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So yeah, this video should be a little bit better. I'm not going to be recording it in the bathroom, so hopefully the sound does sound a little bit better. Hopefully the quality of the actual camera looks a little bit better, but I'm super excited for it. Another quick disclaimer, all of these lines are as of September right around noon, or as of Saturday, excuse me, Saturday, September 17th, right around noon. So the lines definitely could change. I will keep it kind of updated in the pinned comment section, but I did just still want to go ahead and record this here for the 17th or for the Sunday. So I'm super excited to dive into it. I did end up finding 4 plays that I did like. I will say that normally I would do a King's Kill Shot play of the day here on days like today, but there wasn't one that I really loved, and starting out the year 1-0, I really didn't want to risk that. So I will say what my favorite play is, just in case if you guys are wanting to know it, but I still just didn't really have one that I was over the top with. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and do a quick recap as of Thursday night football. We almost brought out the brooms, but unfortunately we did end up missing just barely. So we did end up having the Chargers and the Chiefs over 53.5. Barely missed on this one, just barely. And then we did have Clyde Edwards-Helaire under 10.5 rushes at plus 108 odds. This one actually ended up working out for us. I know it was a plus value play. Definitely was sketchy, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 5 rushes in the first quarter, and then after that really didn't get a whole lot of runs, so it ended up working out here for us pretty well. Then we did have the Chargers plus 4. This one was definitely a sweat. They ended up hitting this cover in the very last couple seconds of the game, or the very last couple possessions of the game, but it ended up working out for us. So we ended up going 2-1 on the day. Hopefully we can go ahead and extend this really great run we've been on. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So our first play of the day, we're taking the Bucks and the Saints over 44 at minus 110 odds. Now, I really do like this play for a couple different reasons. Obviously, they have a fantastic rivalry going. They are divisional rivals. They definitely have a lot of history behind the two teams. But I did see this stat here from Barstool, so it's definitely not my own stat by any stretch of the imagination. But Barstool did have a stat up. I was watching one of their most recent Barstool Sports Advisor shows, and I really did like this. So first things first, Brady has never gone back-to-back without scoring less than 24 points as a Buccaneer. Now what this says to me is that Tom Brady has never really had 2 bad games back-to-back. We all know that in the first game they only scored 19 points, and almost all of those points were field goals. So they definitely didn't score a whole lot. I definitely expect them to bounce back as of today. And on the flip side of things, Tom Brady has, in his last 6 games, after scoring less than 20 points, he is averaging 37 points per game, and he has a very good history here versus New Orleans as well. Over the last 2 seasons, he is averaging 27 points per game. So, once again, I did not do that research, but I did see a stat about it on Barstool, so shout out to Barstool. But I really did like that. That is one thing that really brought my attention to it. I know that I truthfully do think it's going to be a shootout type game. We do have a great quarterback in Tom Brady, and we know how Jameis Winston plays. Jameis Winston, he definitely has those spurts where he's really great, and he has those spurts where he's definitely not. So it's going to be kind of interesting how the game actually pans out, but I do really like this play here for the over specifically. I know the Buccaneers only held the Cowboys to 3, but I mean, come on, the Cowboys, they were playing with a quarterback that was injured, and it was just it was just weird. It was so weird. And then the Saints, they definitely were able to score the ball as well as give up a ton of points. So I really do like the over on this one. We're going to be riding with it. Buccaneers and the Saints over 44 points at minus 110 odds. Now for our second play of the day, this is going to be our man in the suit play. We're going to be riding with the Cowboys plus 7 here versus the Bengals at minus 105 odds. Now this one I think is going to be a common plus 7 trap for it's very similar to what we took last week for the Colts. The Colts obviously were 7-point favorites versus the Texans. Texans ended up coming back, getting things done. So I think this is a very common +7 trap, and let me kind of explain why. First things first, Dak is injured. Dak was announced injured. He's going to be out here for quite some time, and they just got done getting whomped by the Buccaneers. They only scored 3 points, and they are really dealing with a lot of injuries here. But the reasons that I do like this play, first things first, Dallas was the best against the spread team last year with a record of 13-5 against the spread. They were a very solid team against the spread, so I think that they can at least cover for this one. I don't know if they win, but the Bengals, they really didn't look great last week. They really didn't. They had five turnovers, and they had a really poor second half by Pittsburgh just to be able to keep them close. So Pittsburgh, I know they didn't really play great. Newsflash, we'll kind of get to them in just a second, but they had a really poor second half, and that's the only reason that I believe that the Cowboys were even able to stay close in this one. So I really do think that the Bengals, sorry, that was the only reason I think that the Bengals were able to stay close in this one. So I just think that there's a little bit of a trappy line kind of going here, and as an underdog last year, Dallas was 3-1, and the fact that they did hold the Buccaneers to just 19 points, I do think that there's a chance that the Cowboys can cover this one. I just think, they should be favored by more than that for the Bengals coming off of a Super Bowl and against a Cowboys team that's really beat up. This line's way too low, so I'm going to be riding with it. This is our man in the suit play of the day. Cowboys +7 here versus the Bengals at -105. Now for our third play of the day, we're taking the Patriots and the Steelers under 40.5 at -110 odds. This is probably my favorite play on the slate, I got to be honest with you. And no, we're not just going to hammer Patriots unders all year, but I think that this is a really good spot here because I think that the over-under is set really low for a reason. First things first, Patriots only put up 3 points last game. They definitely didn't look great versus the Dolphins in their Week 1 matchup, but the Steelers actually played really good out of the gate. They really started off great, to be honest, but I think it was because the Bengals, they did have their Super Bowl hangover, and I think that once that ended up wearing off, the Steelers only scored 3 points in the second half, and then they scored 3 points in overtime to be able to win it, but overall, they only scored 6 points in basically 3 quarters. So they didn't have a great second half by any stretch of the imagination, and Steelers defense really did most of the work. The Steelers defense, as I mentioned in the last play, they ended up forcing 5 turnovers. So they played really, really good defense. And their defense did most of the work. However, they only put up 194 passing yards in their Week 1 matchup and 75 yards in rushing yards. So I think that both these offenses aren't necessarily great, but these defenses are actually pretty good. So I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. So I really do like this play quite a bit. This was almost my kill shot play of the day, but I decided not to. But that's going to be our third play of the day. Patriots and the Steelers under 40.5 at -110 odds. So since I didn't give you guys a kill shot play of the day, I do have a fourth play of the day as well. We're going to be riding with the Commanders and the Lions over 48 at -110 odds. Now, this one I added in just because we didn't have a kill shot play of the day, but I think it's still a really solid play for sure. First things first, Commanders, they have a really good start to the season, like schedule-wise, to be able to get Carson Wentz kind of started and adjusted to their offense. They started with the Jaguars in Week 1. Now they're at the Lions. Then they're at the Eagles, Cowboys, Titans, and then Bears. That's a really good starting 6 weeks to be able to get your quarterback adjusted. I think that is really going to help them. First things first, the Commanders, they're really trying to get Carson Wentz a lot of reps in this offense. In Week 1, they had 41 pass attempts for 313 yards and 4 touchdowns. I love that for an over for sure. Next, they do have a great receiving core, in Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Jahan Dotson, the rookie, and J.D. McKissick. But all of these guys are capable of having big games. So I really do like their receiving core over there in Washington. Next, the Commanders, they didn't really have a good defense whatsoever either. They were playing the Jaguars in Week 1. They gave up 260 passing yards and 123 rushing yards. That's definitely nothing too great to me. And the Lions, they did have a shootout last week. They ended up having a score of 38-35 versus the Eagles, and they have a fantastic running game for the Lions with DeAndre Swift and Williams. I really do like that, and they also, I feel like they upgraded at the wide receiver room as well with Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Chark, and they still have TJ Hawkinson. So I think that with those pieces that they do have, I definitely think that they're good enough to be able to score some points, and I think this is a really good spot. And the Lions, it's not like they were being shy with throwing the ball last week. They ended up throwing the ball 37 times, and their defense, the Lions defense, I know that they did get some improvements, but they still gave up 239 passing yards and 216 rushing yards here to the Eagles. So I think that it's a really good spot here. So we're going to be riding with it. That's going to be our fourth and final play of the day. Commanders and the Lions over 48 points at -110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, I did just want to go ahead and say we are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sander signing out. Peace.